The announcement of Super Mario RPG for the Nintendo Switch pretty much came out of nowhere and pleasantly surprised fans around the globe. Aside from a few re-releases on the Wii and Wii U Virtual Console and the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom Classic, it didn't seem like this was a candidate for any kind of remake, and yet, here we are. Now, is this updated version of the classic enough to warrant a playthrough, or most importantly, a purchase? Well, in short, yes, but we're also here to tell you why in this review, and also show you a few pieces of Japan exclusive merch that should be on any collector's radar. Let's get into it. Danny from the Famicast here. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Sound off in the comments down below, and we may read it out on our bi-weekly show called the Famicast. Today, though, we're taking a look at Super Mario RPG on the Nintendo Switch in this review. Now, for those unfamiliar, Super Mario RPG starts things off with a very familiar course of events. Princess Peach is captured again, and our rotund hero goes off to save the day. Now, after a showdown with Bowser, things take a very different turn with the arrival of a giant sword who basically smashes down into Bowser's Keep and takes up residence there. Not only that, but he also breaks through something known as the Star Road. Basically this special pathway that grants people's wishes and stuff like that. Now, in doing this, 7 star fragments and our heroes, plus Bowser, are sent flying. Now, it's up to Mario to track down these star pieces by teaming up with the likes of Mallow, the tadpole that looks like a cloud, Geno, a mysterious magical doll, Bowser, and Princess Peach. Now, the game is full of tons of witty dialogue and playful banter throughout the experience too, making it a complete joy to play even all these years later. I think this could kind of go without saying, but just in case, Mario RPG is a turn-based role-playing game that allows up to 3 party members on the screen at the same time. Now, actions are mapped to the face buttons, with A being used for attacks, X for items, Y for specials, and B for other, like you can run away and defend and stuff like that there. One wrinkle that differs from many other RPGs is the ability to enhance attacks or defense with the press of the A button. Now, if these action commands are timed correctly, Mario and his friends will deal out more damage or even be able to avoid enemy attacks completely. Now, to enhance this even further, a newly implemented chain system has also been put into place. Now, continuing to hit the action commands numerous times in a row will grant a variety of stat boosts. Now, on top of the stat boosts, an action gauge is constantly being filled the more you chain your attacks. Now, once this is completely filled, a special triple move can be performed. Now, this differs depending on what characters are in your party too. Now, these new features, coupled with these previous gameplay mechanics, kind of incentivize players to essentially play the game well, and I think it feels really good. Battles are changed up every once in a while with the introduction of special enemies. Now, these look exactly like regular enemies, but typically pack more of a punch offensively and have more HP. Now, downing these foes will net you a coveted frog coin. Now, I really like this addition to the game, as you'll never quite know when, essentially, a mini boss like this would appear. Outside of battles, things are pretty simple. I mean, you control Mario with the joystick, you can jump with B and interact with signs or other characters with the press of A. Now, a handful of minigames are also on offer here as well, just like in the Super Nintendo version of the game. All in all, Super Mario RPG is a pretty well-rounded game that feels great and has a variety of things to do. Super Mario RPG on the Switch features essentially a fresh coat of paint that brings the experience to modern standards. Now, even with that said, the game still stays true to its roots, keeping this isometric view and the stubby Mario that many loved years ago. Environments are also pretty faithful, but are more fleshed out and given even more detail. I think the lighting here looks really good too, and other details such as fluttering curtains, smoothly spinning signs, footprints being left in the sand, and more really add to this experience. Now, not only that, but the character animations kind of draw off of what was in the original games, and yet are even more detailed than they ever could have been back on the Super Nintendo. The new cutscenes are a great addition here too. Simply put, not only does this remake hit with all the nostalgia buttons for those that played the game in the past, it's also fantastic for any Mario fan now. The audio here has also seen a huge improvement in terms of quality, with Yoko Shimomura returning and reworking the soundtrack. Now, additionally, if you want to jam out on the original soundtrack, you can actually change between these, between like the old and new music at any time in the options. Now, this was something that could have been just left out of the game completely. However, including this was a great nod to fans and gaming purists. At the same time, this newly added music is absolutely awesome, and I don't think you should not skip out on it. Now, although the game does look great, it does suffer from a few performance issues throughout the experience. It's a bit difficult to kind of nail down exactly what causes this, but the slowdown is typically apparent in areas that have like a lot of enemies or environmental assets and stuff like that. I mean, thankfully, I didn't really find this to have any effect on battles or anything like that. But yeah, even with that being said, this is something that some will notice, but it doesn't take away too much from the experience. Several bonus items were available to those that picked up the game physically in Japan. At the moment, I only own the game digitally, but I went ahead and picked up one of the more interesting pieces from some resellers after the fact. Now, electronics store Big Camera here in Japan was offering in basically like this special Famicom style box, which is extremely faithful to the original release. I mean, heck, even generally speaking, the artwork itself is definitely a callback to the Japanese release, like with this current version of the game. I mean, it features all the main playable characters on a simple white background, just like the classic one. Now, just taking a closer look at the box, if you look here on the front, you can see all the stuff. If we turn this around, you can see again, it's just the same kind of artwork a little bit, but the back of the box reads, starting with like that red text, a slightly different adventure for Mario and his friends. And the black text reads, this is my translation, a giant sword fell from the sky? Mario and his pals confront the world in chaos. Now, additionally, Nintendo offered some manuals, or like these little pamphlets, for free at a variety of shops across the country. You know, unfortunately for me, all the game stores nearby did not have these, but I did manage to snag some for a couple of bucks online. I mean, again, this little pamphlet looks really similar, if not almost identical, to the original instruction manual. And yeah, these things are just really awesome. I think they're a perfect addition for any Mario RPG loving fans out there. The recreation of this classic RPG hits on all levels. Fans of the original will find a more modern version of a game that they loved. New players will find an accessible RPG that's easy to pick up and play, not being too daunting or complicated. The attention to detail here is great and captures everything that the original had and then some. Now, the quality of life improvements also bring the game up to modern standards. Now, while there are a few issues with performance, Super Mario RPG is a bite-sized RPG that is quite a bit of fun. Fans of the original, or Mario fans in general, should definitely check this one out. As always, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you like what you see, please feel free to drop this one a like. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. We've got tons of podcasts, video reviews, looks at Japanese games like this, and a whole lot more. Again, this is Danny from the Famicast. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.